All right, shalom, shalom. First off and foremost, as always, I want to say, call on La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honor being to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. And a shalom to Ankim out there that's pushing his truth through spirit, through the power, and through the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baha, Rakak Wadash. All right, so this lesson, I didn't really have a title for this lesson, really, but I came across this article on thefanplan.com, and it says, in which this article was published on May 8th, 2024, which is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, deemed by the elder apostle Har through the spirit, right? And Lord's will shit is the fan this year. Lord's will things pop off this year for Babylon, And right here on this particular article, the title says 41% of Americans think civil war likely by 2029, right? And it says some say sooner amid chaos, which that word amid, we can look it up on Google. It means surrounded by or in the middle of. Okay, so 41% of Americans think that civil war will happen by 2029, and some say sooner, in the middle of chaos, right? In which, I say sooner. Now of course, we don't know the time, hour, or day when the Yahweh Shai is going to return, but we know that he's coming, right? He's coming back soon, and and we can see the how can I put this? We can see the prophetic checklist, continuing to check off. We are continuing to check off the prophetic checklists on things that has to happen before Yahweh Shai returns. And what's that? Jacob's trouble. The mandatory implementation of the MOTB. Okay, World War III. And ultimately Yahweh Shai returning. And that the MOTB is something that has to come. It will come. And once that comes, just like the elder Apostle Har says, once that CHIP comes, once that is established to be mandatory, things are gonna just start picking up even quicker. Okay, so the article is going in about civil war here in Babylon, in which that's prophesized, and the scriptures. Okay, civil war, shit hitting the fan. Ultimately, Jacob's trouble. Ultimately, right? So real quick, I'm gonna just read a few paragraphs. Okay, it's let's see here. Now, when you go into this article, all right, it says Americans have been stunned by the Democratic mega donors. Oh, Slack, I skipped the line. All right. First line, it says the article was originally published by Tyler Durden at Zero Hedge, in which Zero Hedge is another source. As far as alternative news. That's a good source. To add to your arsenal of being a watchman, right? And it says Americans have been stunned by the Democratic mega donors funneling money into Marxist groups, sparking mass chaos across colleges and universities nationwide, as risks are mounting that BLM-style riots could spill over into city streets this summer. And guess what? Lord's will, that happens, man. Lord's will, that whole spirit that was back in 2020 and, with the whole George Floyd incident, Lord's will, that comes back, even harder. Lord's will, Esau shuts this place down again, because that needs to happen, man. That right there will be beautiful if that happens. That'd be beautiful if that happened, this summer here in Babylon. Okay, and it says law-abiding Americans have taken notice on the radical left-wing policies pushing this nation further into chaos, from failed progressive cities ignoring law and order to open borders, igniting the greatest illegal alien invasion this nation has ever seen. And speaking of the alien invasion, they're talking about the migrant crisis, right? And real quick, okay, when I go to the End Time Headlines website, okay, speaking of the topic of migrants, of the aliens, they say, right? Now, here's another article from endtimeheadlines.com, and it says, expert warns Sweden is on the brink of civil war as country has been gripped by migrant violence, okay? Now, I believe, real quick, now, mind you, this is in Sweden, okay? And they're on the brink of civil war because of the migrants, okay? That's what they say out there, that's going on with them. Okay, so how much more here in Babylon, being that there's millions of migrants and in Babylon. Okay, now real quick, I'm just gonna type in how many migrants have crossed the border 2024. Okay. Let's see. It says let's do this. Illegal. No. How many migrants are in Babylon are in the US 2024? Okay, it's not giving me a direct answer, but you can look it up yourself. I don't see any. It just gives me something about migrant workers. Nothing about the recent incidents of the actual of the migrants crossing the border. And when I last checked up on it, it was like it was millions of migrants. Just know that here in Babylon, there are millions of migrants here in Babylon. Okay, you had a recent image, servicing the internet a couple of days ago of, the Boston airport, filled with migrants sleeping on the floor. Okay, so Babylon is invaded, man. Babylon is invaded. Babylon is no longer, the white man's, country, if you will. Now, of course, we know that the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. But as far as America being that sweet old tender delicate, that she once was, no, those days are gone. Okay. Now back in the article. Okay, back in the article of on shitdefendplan.com. Okay, and it says law-abiding Americans have taken notice of radical left-wing policies pushing the nation further into chaos. From failed progressive cities ignoring law and order to open borders, igniting the greatest illegal alien invasion this nation has ever seen. And it says, there is a growing sense among the population that possibly a controlled demolition of the country is underway by the radical left. And it says, the spark that could ignite the next round of social unrest, possibly Marxist, useful idiots, some of which are professional and paid protesters, right? Because Esau, he has those he puts plants, within those protests and whatnot. Like the BLM back in 2020. Esau had he had plants within those protests. To get things going. He would have Esau vandalize buildings and break windows and shit like that. And try and think what movie shows you that. It's a movie that shows you that. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Damn, I forgot what it was, but Esau can do that. Esau, he's sneaky, man. He's oh, that's a movie. That's The First Purge. The first purge shows you how he puts plants, in like the first purge with Jake when they showed you the movie. Because Jake, like nobody was, killing one another and breaking laws. So Esau sent, plants in there, like, he sent Skeletor up in there to get things going and to start purging. You see, just to get the people roused up. Okay. So, hey, man, it's not far-fetched in how, Esau, he can have a professional, and paid protester, like the article just said, you know. Let's see. And it says, Americans are closely watching these developments on their smartphones, tablets, and smart TVs, and have taken note of the possibility of summer riots, pushing the nation closer and closer to what some voters believe is a civil war on the horizon. Okay, now let's get some scriptures, man, because that's true. Civil war is on the horizon. We are living the last days of the last days. And speaking of that, speaking of the last days, let's snag this real quick before I go to 2 Esdras 15. This is the book of 2 Timothy 3 and verse 1. It says, know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, meaning the word perilous meaning dangerous or savage like. Okay. And in this article, they're talking about, that it's a possibility of these riots, spilling over to the streets of America, of Babylon. Okay. So, the Lord can have anything happen, man. I hope and pray that this shit just happens this year, man. 2024, the year of Jacob's trouble. But like I said earlier in the beginning of this lesson, hey, man, we know about the prophecies. We know that they're gonna happen, but we don't know when. You see, we don't know when, so it's a matter of patience. Waiting upon the Lord, because everything is of the Lord's will ultimately. Okay, so that's why we have patience. In prophecy, the scriptures say. Let's get it real quick. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for the appointed time, meaning the prophecies, right? And we're living that appointed time, right? The last days of the last days. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, right? Meaning what? At the end of these last days, right? Meaning that they're going to be fulfilled, right? It says, though it will tarry, wait for it, right? Wait for it. Right, because we're not on our own time. We're on the time of Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord, he's in control of everything. Okay, so it says that a sparrow, a bird, don't fall from the sky, lest it be done by the Lord. You see, so this is all of the Lord's plan. This is the Lord's movie, right? And it says, because it will surely come, it will not tarry, right? So it's going to happen regardless. You see, but this right here, seeing articles like this and seeing videos on social media on the protesting and things of that nature, seeing the uproars of the people, out there in Cuba, seeing, people out there going crazy out there in Sweden. This is all good news. This is all an omen. Okay. This is beautiful. And to prove that, let's go to 2 Esdras 9. 2 Esdras 9 and verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And that's what we're doing. Okay, and if you're wondering, well, how do I measure the time diligently? Well, you gotta watch. You gotta be a watchman. You have to watch the articles. Read the articles, watch the news, and of course, fact check things, because nowadays things can be kind of iffy. So you gotta, if not double check, kind of triple check things, to make sure it's valid. Because there's been things in the past when I thought was real, but really it was fake. So you gotta be, just be. A little more, aware on things, being false and things being true, right? So, watching out for articles, watching brothers' videos, the apostles' videos, the elders' videos, to stay updated on prophecy, stay informed, stay in a loop, and always, look up on the websites and see what headlines are pertaining to prophecy, as far as, the MOTB, World War III, upwards of the people, earthquakes, things of that nature, signs in the heavens, you know. So those are things that we do to measure out the time diligently in itself, right? And it says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the Lord is doing that. The Lord is visiting the world which he made. He's doing that. You know, the Lord is rousing these spirits up. The Lord is sending, earthquakes. The Lord is sending pestilences. You see, the Lord is visiting the earth as we speak. But guess what? It's going to increase very soon. And it says, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world. And guess what? That's what we're seeing, right? This article that we're reading is literally going in about upwards of the people, you see? And we're seeing that. Verse 4, and it says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, right? Because the end was declared from the beginning. Like I said earlier, this is all the Lord's movie. Just like in Hollywood, before a movie is released, before a movie is, released on the big screen, okay, the writers, the director, they get together and what? They write the script out. And before the movie, plays out, the script gotta be written out. The script of Yahweh Shema Shai has already been written from the beginning. So we're just watching everything play out as it was written, as it's supposed to be, you see? And it says, verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and an end, right? Just like Babylon. Babylon had to be birthed, it had to begin. But right now, it's time for Babylon to get to the side and be destroyed, It's time for Esau, Edom to be humbled and, be put in servitude, right? It's time for, all wickedness to end, right? So the beginning of the end is manifest, right? And it says, and the end is manifest, meaning what? It's obvious. It's clear that we're in the last days. It's crystal clear that we're truly living in the last days of this captivity, of Esau's rulership, correct? Right? So let's go from there. And let's go from 2nd Esdras 9 to 2nd Esdras 15. Staying at the topic of civil war, right? And, ultimately Jacob's trouble, right? Sedition amongst men. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and I'll start at 14. Actually, let me snag this in the GNT. Okay, this is 2nd Esdras. And the GNT is a good translation to read up, on certain scriptures. It brings a more straightforward, breakdown, I would say the GNT and the NOT are two good translations to read, parallel to both, compared to the KJV. It's a good read, but getting to the translations, you want to make sure that you're grounded in the breakdowns and in the verses, of the KJV, so that way you're not confused on what certain translations may say about a particular verse. Okay, so this is 2nd Esdras 15 and 14, the GNT, from 14 to, oh, excuse me, it didn't even pop up. Excuse me. Where is it at? Second, okay, here it is. 2nd Esdras 15, okay, verse 14 to verse, let's see here, to verse 16 in the GNT, and it says, the world and the people in it are doomed, right, man? These people are doomed. 2/3 are doomed. Now, of course, 2/3, they're going to be in the kingdom, they're going to get the glory in the kingdom. They're going to come through the loins of the elect, right? But on this side, they're going to be judged. They're going to, be caught, in the judgment, the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai, right? Whether it be by dying by the sword, starvation, whether it be ultimately dying at that nuclear fire. But just know 2/3 aren't going to make it on this side. They're going to come back in the kingdom through the elect, right? And also, too, these heathen nations, especially, Esau, he's double finished. Okay, so the people in this world are doomed. But the only ones that are not doomed are the elect, because it says that we go to the book of Esdras, I believe, either second Esdras 8, it says that the the people that were born on in this world, they were born in vain. But the elect, the Lord, kept that that cluster to itself, which is, the cluster being the elect, right? And it says, verse 15, the war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations, right? Now, when you read that in the KJV, the verse 15, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So there's going to be all out hell being broken loose out here, okay? All out hell being broken loose, out here in Babylon, man. All right? Verse 16 in the GMT, it says, here's the point. It says, there will be great political turmoil, with the one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. The KJV says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. Sedition means what? Civil unrest, civil war, right? Sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? Meaning, your politicians going into the governors, mayors, right? The law enforcement, and you can watch that in movies like, what movie is that? Batman. Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane took control of Gotham, he had, him and his henchmen basically, take control. They became the judges. They became the new law enforcement. They took everything over, So imagine, in the streets of, Babylon in real life, when it comes to privacy. Okay, and that was just the fucking movie. So how much more in real life when things pop off? Okay? So, yeah, man. So World War III, we're on the brink of World War III, of the MOTB becoming mandatory. Jacob's Trouble is around the corner. So we're living in beautiful times, man. And it says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? The power is gonna turn to, the citizens, and a good movie to watch that in is also the movie called How It Ends with what's the name, the Jake's name, Forrest Whitaker. He was in that movie, and in that movie, you had regular people, regular citizens, become the authority, and they show you that in a couple scenes, so, hey, man, Esau puts his plans out there, in movies, which is called predictive programming. He puts it in TV shows, the whole nine. But what Esau don't realize is that what you're doing ultimately is prophecy, because prophecy is ultimately what? Reality. So Esau's plans, he's been put in a big ass trick bag by the Lord, not knowing that what he thinks he's doing, guess what? It's prophecy. It's the Lord's, story, not your story. Okay? Esau don't know that he's being used as a pawn to fulfill prophecy, man. So we can get the hell out of this captivity. Okay? And that was it right there. That was the point of the that verse right there. That was it. So let's see if there's more in the article we can look into real quick. So the point is that, hey, man, Jacob's trouble is at hand, and we're on the brink. Well, not us. I'm gonna say Babylon. Babylon is in the brink of destruction. Like the song goes. How would that song go? We're in the brink of destruction, something like that. Oh, it's like it goes like this. We're the eve of destruction. That song. I'm pretty sure you brothers know it. If you don't, you can look it up on YouTube. It's a good song. Because Babylon is on the eve of destruction. This place is done. Okay. Now back in the article, and it says a new survey by Rasmussen reports found that 41% of Americans are concerned a civil war could erupt sometime over the next 5 years, including 16% who say civil war is very likely in the same time frame, right? It is likely because how this Babylonian nation is looking. Hey man, this place don't got much time left. People are losing it, man. And it's only a matter of time before people start to take drastic measures. You know, so Babylon's definitely on its way out, man. Okay, Babylon's crumbling from the inside out, man. You know, it's crumbling from the inside out, man. And we're just waiting, upon it for Yahweh Shema Shai to, destroy this place, man. Okay, we don't gotta do nothing but wait upon the Lord, have faith in Him. You know what I'm saying? Call upon His name with all sincerity, humility, and honor, integrity. Just keep the faith, man. Keep enduring. Okay. And it says, meanwhile, 49% of respondents do not believe another civil war is likely in the 5 years, which, hey, they're tripping, because they don't know about privacy, and Lawrenceville, the Civil War, it happens this year, man. Lawrenceville happens fast, not in the next 5 years. I can't imagine seeing this place, prolonged for 5 more years. I cannot see that, man. And it says, let's see here. It says, 20% expressing that it is, quote unquote, not at all likely. And it says an additional 10% are uncertain about the future. And it says, the possibility that America could face another civil war soon is not too far-fetched for a lot of voters, right? It's not far-fetched. You know why? Because it's privacy. So people are seeing that America is not, is not going to be here for any longer. Even the ones that do say that it's going to happen in the next 5 years, they still see that America is not heading in the right direction because this place has been, it's been up for a very long time. But now we are living in the decline of Babylon, man. And it's a very beautiful thing to see. Okay. And real quick, let me get that in that quick preset. This is Sirach 25 and verse 7. And it says, there be 9 things which I have judged mine heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. You see, so we're how can I word it? We're living in good times, and we're, living to see the fall of our enemy. We are actually seeing Esau crumble in real time. We are actually seeing, Esau panicking, scrambling because he knows that he had but a short time. Why do you think that Esau, he wants to put that sea hip inside of you? Because he knows he had a short time. He wants to control the whole world, through that sea hip, man. So Esau, he wants to control the world forever. But guess what? He don't have forever, man. This dude, listen, the scriptures say that the triumph of the wicked is short. So he don't have much time left. Okay. So we're just playing the waiting game, and being patient at Esau's downfall. Okay. And let's see here. Okay, that was it right there. I'm gonna get one more precept, then we're getting it off on this. This is the book of Jeremiah. Okay. You bros know where I'm already going to. Jeremiah 30 and 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right, man? Jacob, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Okay, and also too, you're like foreigners that may look like, heathens, but you're actually a descendant of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see? So Jacob's trouble is coming soon. Jacob being judged by the Lord, and Jacob getting fucked up out here. But like Paul Tahar says, Jacob's trouble is also Edomite trouble because you're going to be caught up in the midst of it too. All right. And right here it says, but he shall be saved out of it. And who is the he? The elect, because the elect, they're not meant to be destroyed. You see, they're meant to be delivered and be saved because they have that mark of exemption, on the forehead spiritually. That mark of, that the wa. When you read Ezekiel 9 and 4, it says, put the mark of the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry. So these men have the mark of exemption on the foreheads, and that mark is spiritual. Okay, this is it's a spiritual mark, to have the elect to be exempt from any kind of harsh judgment. Okay. So civil war is coming up here in Babylon, man. It's gonna be Egyptian versus Egyptian, meaning Esau versus Esau. Okay, you can read that in the book of Isaiah 19. Actually, let me get it real quick. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 2, and it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." Okay, now if you're asking, why does it say Egyptian? Because the Egyptians today are the Edomites. Okay, we're in Egypt all over again. Okay, us being Israelites, we are in captivity all over again. And America is known to be spiritual Egypt. You can read that in the book of Revelation 11 and verse 8. This place is known as spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritual Egypt. Egypt meaning what? The house of bondage. Just like we were in Egypt, ancient Egypt, under the bondage of Pharaoh. Fast forward to today, we are under the bondage of this Pharaoh. Okay, Esau. All right. It said that we shall be brought into Egypt again with ships, meaning what? Slave ships. So we have to be brought over here in America to serve our punishment. Okay. And we've been here for centuries, man. And also to the Egyptians, because hey, just look at your dollar bill. You got a pyramid on your dollar bill. You have these Edomites, these upper wicked elites on the left hand side of the Lord. They practice in that dark magic and shit. And all that stuff. They're as the Chaldeans and stuff like that. So Esau, man, come on, this dude, he got to go. So Esau is gonna get into it with his fellow Edomite. Okay, so Esau is the modern day Egyptians. That's why he says, "I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." Okay, and it says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right. So you can have, and they show you this in the movie Bushwick with Dave Bautista. You had soldiers, that basically came from like North Carolina and like Texas and shit, coming over there to Brooklyn, New York, or like Bushwick, Brooklyn, fighting other, Edomites. You see? So these things are about to happen, man. Babylon is on its way out, and we're living in beautiful times, man. So Lord's will, this lesson was edifying to the Lord's sheep. And I just want to say, call Lame La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. The blind are being to the elder apostles, a great millstone that do rule and teach well. And it shall belong to you, Sensor Anki out there that's pushing the truth through the spirit, through the power, and through the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Rakakwadash. And Lord's will, you edified. And with that being said, Shalom.